I'm Jessica Enzel Nolan, first-generation Mexican-American, and I grew up in North Dakota. I went to culinary school, then interned with a master chef in France. I then went on to work for Gordon Ramsay, Jean-Georges, Wolfgang Puck, and Morimoto. I won Cutthroat Kitchen on the Food Network, and then I became a Michelin inspector. Now I'm a mom, and I started my own gourmet frozen cookie dough company, Dopamine. But also, I'm the chef next door. Oh, hi neighbor. I was just about to head out. Today's recipe begins right here in our community. Let's go get our ingredients for our recipe locally. I didn't think I was gonna love moving out of the city, but actually I really love it. I love having a yard for my kids. My garden is incredible. I love growing all kinds of tomatoes. It's so much warmer up here than it is in the city. And you know, I feel like there's a lot of kind of cute small town activities that happen up here. We always go to the 4th of July parade, and I just think it's really sweet. I feel like coming out here on the weekend is like the who's who of the area. Like the last time I was here, it was like the chef from McAvoy Ranch, and one of the other farmers was here, and I was like, this is so cool. I love it. They're so tender. That's the one mistake people make, is they always think, oh, the bigger the zucchini, the better. No, you want it small and tender. It smells so sweet in here. This is peak season for stone fruit right now and berries, and it smells absolutely amazing in here. I'm picking up a country white sourdough from Brick Maiden Breads here at Tenfolds Farm Stand. I'm gonna make a panzanella with it with all the delicious vegetables from my garden. Many of those tomato starts I picked up here at Tenfolds. I'm a watermelon person. I'm definitely gonna have to get watermelon.
So these guys are called sugar babies?
Oh yeah.
Those are like baby-sized watermelons?
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm gonna give you that, and then I'm gonna give you that. So my tip to know when peaches are ripe is when I hold it here, I can smell it and it's sweet, and it's firm but soft, and I know that in 2 days this one's gonna be perfect for the dinner party. My friend Alex is a local pastry chef. We met through the pastry chef community of Novato, and I love the fact that he's really trying to make food stuff happen here. That's cool. Oh, the shakshuka one, is that new?
Oh yeah, that's new. So we take, we get Nardello, Jimmy Nardello peppers, heirlooms, garlic, spring onions, cook them down for like 3 hours, and then poach a quail egg from Pasture 42 on top in the oven.
Okay, the shakshuka, the cinnamon roll. Okay, I'm gonna try something new this week. Can I do the pistachio KA?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. That's perfect for me. I always like peel it open a little bit and see what it's like. It's just like beautiful corn. There's no rot on it. It's not drying out. I think I'll do this one.
That one, all right.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, I've got my haul. And then we share these chickens with our neighbor. So we have a chicken run in the shade over here, and on the other side is their coop, and then they have a big backyard they can roam as well. And then we got 2 more over here, so we got a 3-egg haul. Okay, now that we're back, let's take out this local goodness and turn it into something delicious. So today we're gonna make chilled corn soup. I love how easy and simple this recipe is. All you need is some garlic, onion, thyme, obviously this is from my garden, some corn from the farmer's market. I've already taken it off the cob, but we're gonna throw that in there as well. A little bit of white wine, and then chicken broth. I make my own obviously, but you can use store-bought or you can also use vegetable broth. But I like that when I make my own, I get this beautiful line of fat on top. So what we'll do is we'll scrape that off and we'll use that to cook our onion and garlic. There's a lot of great anti-inflammatory properties in it. So we're gonna start with about 2 tablespoons of fat. You could choose butter or olive oil or a mix. but in this case, I'm just using the rendered chicken fat from the stock. We've got that in our pan, and while that's getting ready, I'm gonna go ahead and start fine dicing my onion, or just small dice is actually fine. It's all gonna get blended up, so I cut off the top. You always wanna put flat side down, and then I split it in half again, and I'll toss the little bits into the compost, and then I peel. Okay, so now we've got our onion. You can see it's small, which is perfect. I put it on medium heat. We just want that to start rendering, and then we'll go ahead and once it melts, we'll put the onion in, and then after that, we'll chop our garlic, add our aromatics, and then deglaze with a little white wine. We'll add in our onion. I'm gonna go ahead, put a little bit of black pepper, and just a pinch of kosher salt. I love Diamond kosher salt. That's what all the chefs use. We'll start chopping our garlic, and then we'll add that right in there. Chopped garlic. We'll toss that in there with some fresh thyme. Give it a quick stir. And now I'm going to deglaze with a little bit of white wine. It's a great way to infuse some flavor into your soup. Just a little stir of that in there. So we've got our corn that we've already taken off the cob, and we're gonna put that right in the pot along with all the kernels. The cobs are gonna infuse a lot more flavor into the soup, and because I don't add cream or anything into it, it's just extra creamy and flavorful. Now we're gonna add in our chicken stock. I know that I've made some good chicken stock because it's essentially Jell-O. So much collagen, great for your skin. Like I mentioned before, lots of anti-inflammatory properties, so this is what keeps you good and healthy. Now we're gonna add in a little bit more salt and pepper. As I mentioned before, you wanna layer your seasoning. So now's the next time where I'm gonna add a little bit more. And we'll let this come up to a boil, and then we will take the corn cobs out and the thyme, and we'll give it a blend. Okay, so now we're gonna pop the lid on. So now it's nice and creamy. Smells amazing. All right, and now we have beautiful creamy soup. So this is some kale I picked from my garden, but I want to show you guys how to clean kale in an easy way. I like to start at the stem and start peeling down, and then you just pull, and then you get a nice, clean, deveined piece of kale. So we're gonna make our vinaigrette for our panzanella. We're gonna start with some French Dijon mustard. The other nice thing about Dijon mustard is that it's an emulsifier, so it will keep your dressing together without it splitting. So we're gonna do about a teaspoon of that. Then we're gonna come in with some vinegar. One of my hacks that I like to do is I pickle onions and I have them in the fridge all the time because I feel like it's a great way to add some extra flavor to salads or tacos or eggs in the morning. But then the vinegar also gets a really nice onion flavor from pickling the onions. So I'm gonna use this as part of my vinaigrette. And then I'm just gonna season with a little bit of salt and pepper. This olive oil is from McAvoy Ranch. It's a local place that's actually right by the farm stand that I picked the bread up at. And now we'll mix it together. Okay, and now we're mixed up. We're going to taste it for seasoning. That's the biggest mistake I've always realized that young chefs never do. They never taste their food as they go. And so we're gonna give this a quick little taste. Perfect. So the nice thing about vinaigrette is it has both salt and acid in it. And when you're working with kale, kale has a lot of structure and you wanna help break it down. So we're gonna massage in the dressing and it's gonna start making that kale really nice and tender. When I was a Michelin inspector, one of the things that I cared deeply about was the freshness and the locality of ingredients. The produce is great because it's picked when it's in peak season and also makes it the most nutritious. Okay, and so you're gonna notice here that it's already starting to tenderize the kale. And the other nice thing about kale is that you can make this ahead of time because it's not gonna get wilty. Now we're gonna take our bread and we're going to cut it into small cubes and we're going to make our panzanella. So the nice thing about panzanella is you can use stale bread, fresh bread, whatever you like. You're gonna toast it in the oven. And you can dress it with just olive oil, salt, and pepper, but I really like to make my own garlic oil. So what I do is I take garlic, some herbs from the garden, and I just put enough olive oil in to cover it, and then you just let that go on low heat. And then you get great garlic confit, and confit just means cooked in its own juices. So you're gonna take that garlic then and you can smear it on bread. It's delicious, and now you have flavorful oil that I'm gonna use to dress the croutons. And then we're gonna toss this and put it into the oven at 400 degrees until it's nice and toasty. So now we've got our toasted croutons, and I like to just add them right here on top of the kale. I like to layer it, and you can make it ahead of time, because now we're gonna put the tomatoes on top, and the bread is going to soak in all of those delicious juices. Now I'm just going to cut these into bite-sized pieces and put them right over the top. We like how juicy these are. I wait till they're so ripe, they're ready to explode. I'm cutting these into nice small bite-sized pieces. And if you're not sure what bite-size means, this reminds me of a time when I was working at Wolfgang Puck and I was cutting fruit, and the chef came over and said, "Put this in your mouth." And I immediately said, "No, why?" And he said, "Because I want you to know that you aren't gonna look cute when you eat it, and that's what you need to make it small and cute." So now we have a perfectly ripe peach. It's soft when you press it in gently, but you don't wanna press it in too hard or it'll bruise. But we're gonna use this right away anyhow, so we're gonna cut into it. And then we'll chop that up and we'll put it right on top of the tomato. I love this salad because you can use all of the summer ingredients in there. One of the things I like about it is it's very balanced. You got your sweet, you got your salty, your savory. Chef tip, never put your knives in the dishwasher. Always hand wash them, dry them, and then put them back in your block. Okay, look at these beautiful hot pink pickled onions. It's really gonna pop in this salad. So let's start plating it up. I love how all the juices, everyone's like, your bowl, it's heaping. That's the whole idea. All of the juices are dripping down to the bottom. The bread is soaking up all these delicious juices. And now we're gonna toss it all together before serving, and we'll plate it in a bowl. Now it's time for my favorite part of the meal, dessert. This is a recipe I used to make at Jean Georges. It's very simple though. It's a pavlova, but I use lemon curd instead of passion fruit curd, but you can use whatever fruit puree or juice you want. But we're gonna start with the meringue. And I feel like people always mess this up, even in fine dining restaurants. And the way you want it is you want it to be a crisp white and marshmallow-like on the inside. And so we're gonna start. These eggs are from the chickens outside. So we've got some fresh eggs, and we're just gonna use the whites. So we have some whites in the bowl. They're already at room temperature. We're gonna lift it up. We're gonna start it on low. Now that it's starting to get a little frothy, we're gonna add in a pinch of cream of tartar. And we're gonna slowly put in the sugar on a low speed. Now that it's starting to dissolve, we're gonna kick up the speed and we're gonna let it whip until it's shiny and stiff heat. We're gonna preheat the oven to 200 degrees. We just wanna dry these out. That it definitely has a little bit more of a flop and it's ready to go. I like to use a piping bag. You can get these off Amazon, or else you can also use a Ziploc bag and just cut the corner, or you can use a regular piping bag, but I like the ease of these, and this is what we use in professional kitchens. Anything from Jean-Georges to Gordon Ramsay to Wolfgang Puck, we all use these disposable bags. And then you're just gonna make a C with your hand and then put the piping bag over it, and you're gonna kind of shimmy that down. Put a little bit more in there. And when you're shimmying it down, you're getting all the air bubbles out, so it will go all the way to the tip. You can just cut it here and it'll still come out perfectly nice. A nice shape as you pipe it out. You're gonna wanna pipe it into about 3-inch circles. So press down, squeeze, and lift up. Press down, squeeze, and lift up. Press down, squeeze, and lift up. We're gonna take some dried flowers from my garden, some cornflowers, or else they're also called bachelor buttons, and you just wanna garnish them on. So when I was the pastry chef at Morimoto in Napa, I had to go through a whole interview process with Chef Morimoto. And they told me when I was interviewing, don't be offended if he doesn't eat your dessert. He doesn't like dessert, he might spit it out. Don't be offended, it has nothing to do with you. He's just not a sweets guy. I said, okay. So I put up my desserts for the chef and he ate the whole thing. And I was very surprised and everyone else was surprised. And at the end of it, he said, this was a very good dessert. It was crunchy, it was soft, it was cold, it was hot, and it was salty, and it was sweet, and he ate the whole thing. Okay, now we're just gonna bake. It's gonna be in here for about 2 to 3 hours. So now our meringues are done, and you know they're done because they're crispy on the outside. Can you hear that? And they're still bright white. And I can tell you that the inside is probably very marshmallow-like. Gordon Ramsay would not approve of this recipe. It's a lemon curd made in the microwave. But you know what? It's super simple and it's delicious. So here we go. First, we're gonna add our eggs into the cup. And now we're gonna add in the sugar. We're gonna give that a quick mix. And now we'll add in our fresh squeezed lemon juice. Do not use store-bought. I am not okay with that. Lemon juice. I've also done this with purchased passion fruit puree and it's delicious. A lot of people ask me how I got into pastry, and the truth is I went to culinary school, not pastry school. And even though I was a pastry chef for almost 2 decades, it wasn't something that I was planning to do. I really wanted to work on the savory side, but because I was a girl, a lot of people assumed I wanted to be in pastry, so they would always hire me for that. We're cooking it in the microwave for 30-second increments. We'll check it, give it a quick stir, pop it in again, and last, we just need to put in some cold butter. I love salted butter, but this is the only time I will ever say you need unsalted butter. If you don't have unsalted butter, you can also use white chocolate or a combination of chocolate and butter. And now we're just gonna mix it up. Done. Now we have super creamy and delicious lemon curd. We're just gonna let that chill and we're gonna put some plastic tight on top of it so that way it won't develop a skin while it cools. Everyone thinks that they need to buy store-bought whipped cream, but honestly, making it from scratch couldn't be easier, and you only need 1 little cup. So I've got some powdered sugar in here, just a quick little drip of vanilla paste. You can use vanilla extract, vanilla paste, vanilla bean, and then I'm just gonna fill it up with some heavy cream. Now we mix. Look at that, you've got some really beautiful whipped cream here. Now you can see how great our curd looks now that it's cooled. We'll just pop that into a piping bag to make it easy. What I like to do is actually use it to make a little hole here in the bottom. Fill in with some lemon curd. I'm gonna place it down. I'm gonna top with some whipped cream. And now I'm just gonna garnish with some fresh berries. I'm a spritz girl, so every summer I love to drink Aperol spritz or limoncello spritz, but this is a little combination of a Saint Germain and a limoncello spritz. It's made with my very own Meyer limoncello from my trees. So I used all of the product, every bit of the juice went to lemonade, every bit of the peel went into the limoncello, and then after I took the peels out, I candied them and I turned them also into simple syrup. Okay, and so one of my favorite things is Pebble Ice. I don't have a Pebble Ice machine, but in the summer it's a must for me. So I just went and bought this at Chick-fil-A, and now we're gonna pour it on top. And we'll garnish with some lemon and fresh mint. Got the panzanella as well, and I think I'll set it right over here, and we can just do this family style.
Oh, wow. Wow, that's beautiful.
Thank you.